Hi students, good evening. Welcome to the session 6 on laws of motion. So in Canada we are going to continue with our discussion on the applications of the laws of motion. Already in session 5 we were looking at how do we apply the 3 Newton's laws. So we have first covered the balanced forces concept. Okay, in session 5 we have just started the unbalanced forces. Unbalanced force that particular object whichever is having unbalanced forces will be having acceleration. Okay, so we have seen couple of arrangements of the objects. Okay, so what are the things that we have basically seen? One idea that we covered in the session 5 the concept of the apparent weight. Okay, so that already we covered session 5 la. We have looked at the scenario where an isolated block whatever block on a horizontal table. So if you have an isolated block on the horizontal table and we apply force on it, so force apply panna madri. Okay, so we have seen couple of scenarios of how do we apply the force. In Canada we are going to continue with the discussion on these arrangements of the objects. So paranga we'll start with the case of blocks in contact. In Canada we have two blocks, block A and block B. They are in contact. Okay, so we are applying a force like in the push panna madri. We are applying a force F to push this block A. This is a very common thing that we see in our homes also. Room shift or when you want to move lot of things, right? We'll keep like one box in front of other report. We'll just try to push it from the back side. So exactly similar situation. Now what you will see is that the motion of this block B and motion of the block A, they both will be connected. Because the movement is coming since you are applying that force. Okay, so whatever the block B or displacement or velocity or acceleration, and the values will be equal to what? The displacement, velocity and acceleration of the block A. The moment in the two blocks or a contact loose panna. If the contact is lost means what? Now we will see that there will be only force acting on the block A. Where on the block A mattum it will experience a force. Block B mela force varadu. Okay, once it is losing the contact. Adanala what will be the situation? The block A and block B will be always in contact and they will be moving with the same acceleration. So that is what is the connected motion for the block A and block B. Okay, usually we will be asked to find what is the acceleration. So block A acceleration will be equal to block B acceleration. So they will ask what is that acceleration value. So generally we are assuming that the blocks and the floor, right, the surfaces is what? Smooth. That is the assumption. After some time we look at the friction case also. Now we are looking at the smooth surface. Okay, we will talk about the free body diagram for this M1 block or A block. Okay, so that mattum draw pannunga. So M1, look at this, there will be weight acting on it, which is what? M1 into G. And the mother there will be also a normal reaction, let us call it as what? R1 between that block A and the floor. Okay, what about the horizontal direction forces? There is an applied force F. And the mother there is a contact between the block A and block B. So adanala there will be a normal reaction here. Let us call it as what? N. Normal reaction will be what? The contact surface it will be into that block A. If you look at the vertical direction, right, the block A is not moving vertically, right? Means what? Vertical direction it's a case of balanced forces, which means what? Upward force R1 will be equal to M1 into G. Okay, now in the horizontal, this block A is moving towards which direction? Right side dana. It is moving towards right side with an acceleration a. And the a value தான் நம்ம find out பண்ணணும். So இப்போ பாருங்க horizontal direction எத்தனை force இருக்கா? ரெண்டு forces தானா? One is the applied force which is towards the right, and there is a normal reaction எங்க between the two blocks. அதோட contact surface we have a normal reaction. அதுதான் நம்ம n represent பண்ணிருக்கோம். ஓகேவா? And the normal reaction is acting towards the left. Acceleration in the பக்கம் இருக்கு, it is towards the right side, right? Means what? Net force என்னது? So net force towards right side. So right side direction we have to find the net force. Another right side force F minus left side இருக்கிற force M. That is the net force towards the right side. Okay, so net force towards right side is equal to what? Mass of that object which is M1 into the acceleration towards the right side is what? A. Okay, wow. So this we will keep it as equation 1. And in the equation we are looking at this equation to get the value of A. And we will go to the free body diagram for this block M2. Where in the M2 observe pannunga. M2 will have its own weight, which is what? M2 into G. And there will be a normal reaction between that block M2 and the floor below. Okay, wow. So then we will call it as R2. Horizontal direction there will be only one force. That force will be what? The normal reaction between the block A and block B order contact surface, which will be acting in which direction? It will be acting towards the right side. Yeah, because from that contact surface we are looking at the normal reaction acting on B. The normal reaction value will be same as N. Why? Because action reaction pair, right? From that contact surface, if the normal reaction acting on M1 is N, normal reaction acting on M2 also will be what? Magnitude wise N. Direction wise you can see the normal reaction acting on M1 is what? Towards the left. Normal reaction acting on M2 will be towards the right side. Okay, wow. So we look at the vertical direction. There is no motion for the M2, right? Means what? Balanced condition. R2 is equal to M2 into G. We will be using it when we talk about the friction between the blocks and the contact surface. Okay. The block M2 is also going towards the right side with acceleration A. Only one force is there towards the right side. Another normal reaction, which means what? The normal reaction N, which is the only force, will be equal to what? M2 into A. Okay, so this is our equation 2. We are looking at solving the acceleration value. If we look at the equation 1, equation 2, equation 1 and 2, what we have to do? We have to just equation 1 and equation 2 what we have to do? After the equations add panna, look at, so I'll erase some part of it in the left side. I'll just erase this so that we can see this. All of that we have done the equations extract பண்ணிருக்கோம். இதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன தெரியுமா? We'll just have to solve this. பாருங்க, adding equation 1 and equation 2. LHS ல என்ன இருக்கு இந்த பக்கம்? N. Here F minus N. So அப்படியே அந்த plus N minus N cancel ஆயிடும். So left hand side ல we'll have F. Right hand side ல என்ன வரும்? Here we have M2A, here M1A. So which is what? M2A plus M1A. இதுல வந்து A common எடுத்தா it will be what? M2 plus M1 into A. So A தான நமக்கு வேணும், which means what? F by M2 plus M1. Illana we can also write it as what? F by M1 plus M2. Okay, that is what will be the acceleration. Okay, va? We will also discuss about some shortcut methods to get this acceleration value. Like this block M1 and block M2, right? They are moving together. If we move we can take the block M1 and M2 together like one system. We can take both of them like a system and get the acceleration in a very simple and straightforward manner. Okay, va? That we will see when we talk about solving the same problem by using the system method. Like what we did here, we have written the equations of motion for the block M1. We have written the equations of motion for the block M2. We were trying to get what is the acceleration. Okay, அப்படி இல்லாம like here you see m1 and m2 are moving together, right? They are moving like one body மாதிரி they are moving. So we can take both of them like what we call as a system and solid. So using a system concept, right, we can get the answer in a less number of steps only, but we'll do it later. But what is the common acceleration solala? What is the common acceleration of that bodies? It is what? F by m1 plus m2. Okay, நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம் தெரியுமா? We are taking up all these models and we are deriving each of these cases. இதுல இருந்து நமக்கு என்ன வரும்னா, when we go to the examination, right, typically neatly you will have simple systems like that only. You may think they are repeating the questions, but they would be giving questions on whatever the simple arrangements that are known to us. So you will have some familiarity. So like say they are giving a question on this, right? They will put m1 is equal to 2 kg, m2 is equal to 4 kg. Apdi potittu they will just give us a question. They will ask us what is that acceleration and the madri. So if you remember the approach or remember the formula, means you will be able to easily solve the questions like that. Okay va? அடுத்த சிஸ்டம் பாருங்க, ஒரே ஒரு ஸ்மால் டிஃபரன்ஸ். என்னது? இங்க ஒன்று பிளாக் வந்தது. ஸோ we have brought the third block. பாருங்க, there is block A, block B and block C. Same, we are applying a force F. Like இப்படியே பார்த்தா like you can keep whatever the number of blocks you want. We can keep 4 blocks, we can keep 5 blocks, 6 blocks போடலாம். Like we can keep whatever the number of blocks. Now look at it. So இங்க என்ன தெரியுமா? For a calculation, because இங்க என்ன நம்ம பண்ண போறோம், we are looking at only the acceleration தானா. So பாருங்க, block C, block B, block A, all of them will have the same acceleration in the right side direction. Okay va? We will just focus on solving the horizontal direction motion. ஏன்னா vertical வந்து we were only getting that normal reaction. Vertical என்ன, none of them are having any vertical motion, right? அதுல இருந்து we were only getting what? The normal reaction value between that particular block and the table. அது நமக்கு இங்க தேவையில்லை. When we'll require that when we are solving the friction based problems. இப்போதைக்கு என்ன தெரியுமா? Let us only focus on getting that acceleration value. இந்த A value மட்டும் we are trying to find. Okay va? So இப்போ பாருங்க, we will look at the free body diagram for that m1. இதுல என்ன, there is an வெறும் horizontal force மட்டும் பாருங்க. We are not looking at the vertical forces. ஏன்னா that vertical forces will give us equation to find out what? To find out the normal reaction between that table and the respective block. அது நமக்கு இங்க தேவையில்லை. ஏன்னா because that will be required only when we talk about the friction. இங்க என்னது, we are trying to just solve the acceleration value. So வெறும் horizontal direction la whatever the forces that are there, we will focus on that. Okay va? So இப்போ பாருங்க, m1 and m2 they are having a contact surface. So இங்க இருந்து you will have a normal reaction acting on m1. அது எப்படி வரும்? It will be into m1. So into m1 சொன்னா it will be towards the left side. Because of both the forces, எப்படி அந்த block m1 move பண்றது? It is moving towards the right side. Right side ன்னு சொன்னா we have to look at what is the net force towards the right side. Net force towards the right side என்னது? Right side there is a force F. Left side la there is a force n1. So F minus n1 will be equal to what? Mass of the object into அதோட acceleration which is in the right side direction. Okay va? So this is what will be the equation 1. So இங்க நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம்? We are just looking at the horizontal direction மட்டும். Okay va? அடுத்து என்ன? We look at the free body diagram for this m2. இங்க பாருங்க, there is a contact between m1 and m2, right? So அதனால there is a normal reaction n1 acting. Block A க்கு மேல there will be normal reaction acting towards the left side. But on block B அது எப்படி வரும்? It will be towards the right side தானா. So இங்க இருக்கு contact surface. So there will be a contact normal reaction n1 that will be acting towards the right side. அந்த மாதிரி இங்க ஒரு contact surface இருக்கு. எங்க? Between m2 and m3. இங்க பாருங்க, there is a contact surface between m2 and m3. So இங்க ஒரு normal reaction வரும். அதுக்கு நம்ம என்ன தெரியுமா? We will call it as n2. அது எப்படி வரும் பாருங்க? It will be into the m2. Okay. So because of these two forces, right, எப்படி இந்த block move பண்றது? This is also moving towards the right side. Means what? We have to find net force towards the right side. Net force towards the right side ன்னு சொன்னா right side ல இருக்கிற force n1 minus left side ல இருக்கிற force n2. Okay va? So n1 minus n2 is equal to what? Mass of that object, another m2 into அதோட acceleration. Okay va? So then let us keep it as equation 2. அதுக்கப்புறம் we will go to the free body diagram for this m3. M3 பாருங்க. M3, it is having a contact with that block M2. So அதனால it will experience a normal reaction. என்னது, the value will be same N2, but it will be towards the right side வரும். ஓகேவா? So அதுதானா, there is only one horizontal force. M2 க்கு மேல, M3 க்கு மேல there is only one horizontal force. இப்போ பாருங்க, equation என்ன வரும்? Only one force is there, which is N2. So N2 is equal to what? M3 into A. அவ்வளவுதான். Only one force is there, and that will be giving the acceleration, horizontal direction. Okay va? So இப்போ பாருங்க, we have three equations. இதுல இருந்து we have to find the acceleration of the value. எப்படி? Same, think about it. 1 plus 2 plus 3 பண்ண என்ன வரும்? Add பண்ணுங்க. So இங்க minus n1 plus n1 minus n2 plus n2. So LHS ல வெறும் F only will be remaining. அந்த மாதிரி RHS ல பாருங்க, M1A, அதுக்கப்புறம் M2A, M3A. So என்ன வருது? M1 plus M2 plus M3 into A. அப்படியே நம்ம காமன் எடுத்துப்போம். ஓகேவா? So A ஓட வேல்யூ என்ன வருது? If you bring this M1 plus M2 plus M3 on one side means என்னது? F by M1 plus M2 plus M3 is the acceleration of the value. ஓகேவா? பாருங்க, இதுல ஏதாவது சிமிலாரிட்டி இருக்கா? Like last problem enna, we have seen that two blocks இருந்தா what is the formula? We got acceleration of the formula F by M1 plus M2. இங்க என்ன வருது? F by M1 plus M2 plus M3. Okay, so all of the difference. So we have to remember all these in the standard cases, right? Like I'll show you, even if you look at 2020 NEET paper also, we have got a question based on Newton's laws, right? So standard case based panida, we have got the question. Like this kind of questions we can expect. If you remember the situation means we can straight away apply that and then get the answer. For a force F 40 newtons, find the acceleration of the blocks. Adula M1 oda value kuduthirukanga, what is it? 2 kg. Adukaprom M2 value enna? 4 kg. Paranga, check pannunga guys. Here they didn't mention about any roughness or anything, means we will assume that the surfaces are what? Smooth. Already na sollirukka. If they have to talk about the friction, they have to give us some information about the friction. Enadi coefficient of friction they have to give. Adi kudukalana, then what is the general assumption? We are going with the assumption of smooth surfaces. Okay va? Maximum therima will have smooth surfaces only in these kind of arrangements. If they are giving a rough surface case means they will tell that the surfaces are rough. Adukapram they will also give us some information about the frictional force. So straight question நான் already நம்ம solve பண்ணிருக்கோம். So now we are not going to do the entire step of calculation again. என்னது, இப்படி இருந்தா like this kind of arrangement, right? They both will move with the same common acceleration. They both will be moving with the same common acceleration. அதோட வேல்யூ என்ன? A is equal to what? F by M1 plus M2. என்னது? F by M1 plus M2. F எவ்வளோ? 40 newtons. M1 2 kg, M2 4 kg. 2 plus 4 எவ்வளோ? 6 kg. பாருங்க, 2 3s are 2 20s are. So என்ன வருது? 20 by 3 meter per second square. அவ்வளோதான். So if you are remembering that cases properly means any question that comes as it is, right, we will be able to just conclude it within less than a minute. அதுதானே நமக்கு வேணும். Because why are we preparing like these many scenarios before? அப்படியே அந்த F is equal to MA formula சொல்லிட்டு we can just move on to the next chapter. ஏன்னா அந்த ஒரே ஃபார்முலா தானே இது எல்லாத்துலேயும் நம்ம அப்ளை பண்ணுறது. But when we are dividing that entire study into multiple cases, அதுல இருந்து நமக்கு என்ன தெரியுமா? We should be looking at how prepared we are for the competitive examination. So when you see a same model of question, அப்படியே அந்த ஃபார்முலா எடுத்துட்டு we should be able to just get the answer. That will save us the time. Okay, so பாருங்க, what is the answer for this, guys? I'm expecting you to type the answer in this. So என்ன வருது? You have to type it. So now what is the answer? It will be what? 20 by 3 meter per second square. அடுத்த situation பாருங்க. We are looking at the blocks connected by a massless string. என்னது? The blocks connected by a massless string. இதுதான் நமக்கு generally வரும். like neat la pathina we will not have the string or rope having a mass. Okay, so generally we'll have massless string or massless rope connecting the blocks. Okay va, so இப்படி நம்ம ரெண்டு blocks connect பண்ணி we are trying to pull it by applying a force. இங்கேயும் அப்படிதான். The assumption is what we are considering the surfaces are what smooth. என்னது we are considering the surface are what smooth. and இன்னொன்னு நம்ம சொல்லிருக்கோம் தெரியுமா, in the assumptions of the rope என்னது, if that rope or string is massless, then wherever in that string or rope you see, the tension force or the value will be what same. எல்லா இடத்துலயும் the tension force will be what same. Okay வா, அதனால என்ன பாருங்க, there is a rope, this is a rope, this is the rope that is connecting the block A and block B. இங்க பாருங்க, tension acting on the block B will be always tension எப்படி இருக்கும். So this is block B. Okay வா, tension எப்படி இருக்கும், it will be acting into the rope. இது block B. அந்த மாதிரி block A பாருங்க, this is block A. tension எப்படி இருக்கும், it will be acting into the rope. Both the places tension or value will be what same. Okay, இதில் என்ன தெரியுமா, we can be asked to find either acceleration or this tension values. Either acceleration find out பண்ணனும் சொல்லிட்டு they will ask the question, இல்லைன்னா they will ask the question to find out the tension. Okay வா, so இதில் என்ன தெரியுமா, again same assumptions. இங்க கீழ என்னது smooth surfaces. அதுக்கப்புறம் remember generally our ropes are what inextensible. இது பத்தி நம்ம ஆல்ரெடி சொல்லிருக்கோம். what is it, ropes are what inextensible. inextensible சொன்னா என்னது, we cannot expand them, means m1 and m2. இப்போ பாருங்க, the block B is moving some displacement, means block A also has to have the same displacement. block B is having some velocity and block A also has to have the same velocity. block B is having some acceleration and block A also has to have the same acceleration. Okay va, அதனால both these blocks right will be moving towards the right side with the same acceleration value. So this is what we said as what the connected system. Both are connected by inextensible rope and another, they will be having the same accelerations. Okay va, so இப்ப பாருங்க, so already நம்ம இந்த diagrams draw பண்ணிருக்கோம். we'll just go with the free body diagram. So free body diagram of block B. block B க்கு மேல there are, இதுல என்ன தெரியுமா, we'll just look at the horizontal forces alone. ஏன்னா vertical directionல motion கிடையாது. அதுல இருந்து if you look at this equation right, என்ன வரும், we will get what is the normal reaction between the block and the table. அது நமக்கு இங்க தேவையில்லை. where it will be required when we talk about the friction force, அங்கதான் நமக்கு அதோட யூஸ் வரும். ஓகே, so இப்போ என்ன தெரியுமா, we will just go with the horizontal direction மட்டும். so block B பாருங்க, block B அதுக்கு மேல என்ன இருக்கு, horizontal directionல there is an applied force F எந்த பக்கம், towards the right side, and there is a tension T towards the left side. because of these two forces எப்படி இதை மூவ் பண்றது, it is moving towards the right side தானா. so equation என்ன, the net force towards the right side means F minus T is equal to the block or mass m2 into A. okay வா, so இது ஒரு equation. அந்த மாதிரி block A பாருங்க, this is block A free body diagram. block A க்கு மேல there is only one force, horizontal direction there is only one force, என்னது, வெறும் tension மட்டும். அது தவிர there is no other force, right, only one force is acting. எப்படி, it is acting towards the right side. அதனால this is getting an acceleration. so equation எப்படி வரும், ஒரே ஒரு force தானா, what is it, that one force which is towards the right side is equal to what, mass of that object m1 into அதோட acceleration A. இதுதான். so இதுக்கு now we'll call it as what, equation 1 equation 2 ன்னு சொல்லலாம். now இதுல இருந்து இங்க பாருங்க, like F will be given to us, அந்த மாதிரி m1 m2 also will be given to us. இதுல என்ன, what are the unknown values, T and A. ஏன்னா what are the unknown values, T is an unknown, இந்த மாதிரி acceleration is also unknown. இதுல இருந்து we can find out, if they're asking us to find tension and we can find tension. if they're asking us to find the acceleration means we can find the acceleration. okay, see for everything நம்ம எல்லா ஃபார்முலா ரிமெம்பர் பண்ண முடியாது. so for some things right, approach எப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு we will try to understand. அதுக்கப்புறம் when the problem comes right, we will be able to take it up and do. ஏன்னா எல்லா ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் நம்ம மெமரைஸ் பண்றதை ட்ரை பண்ணா that is also going to crash our system. okay, so இப்போ பாருங்க, let us say we want to find the acceleration. அது எப்படி தெரியுமா, same do 1 plus 2 பண்ண என்ன வரும், இதுல மைனஸ் இருக்கா, இதுல T. ஸோ எல்ஹெச்எஸ்ல வெறும் எஃப் மட்டும் வரும். ஆர்ஹெச்எஸ்ல என்னது m2a plus m1a. ஸோ இது என்னது m2 plus m1 into a. ஸோ லெஃப்ட் சைடு எடுத்துட்டு வந்தால் இட் வில் பி கோயிங் இன்டு த டினாமினேட்டர். ஒரு சிமிலாரிட்டி இருக்கு, என்ன தெரியுமா? இந்த மாதிரி ரெண்டு கனெக்டட் பிளாக்ஸ் அப்படியே டச் பண்ணி கனெக்ட் பண்ணா அதில் ஆல்சோ we have got the same acceleration formula. பாருங்க, so we have two blocks like this, right? We are applying a pushing force. அங்க என்ன வருது? We got the same acceleration formula. Okay, so what is the acceleration? F by m2 plus m1. அந்த acceleration எடுத்துட்டு we will substitute in any equation. either equation 1 ல substitute பண்ணலாம், இல்லைன்னா equation 2 ல substitute பண்ணா என்ன வரும்? We will get the tension force value. அதாவது equation substitute பண்ணா we will get what? Tension force value. ஓகேவா? ஸோ இப்படிதான் இந்த சிஸ்டமோட டைப் ஆஃப் நியூமெரிக்கல்ஸ் நம்ம அப்ரோச் பண்றது. ஓகே, ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் வாட் blocks connected by a rope. அந்த ரோப்போட ஸ்பெஷாலிட்டி என்ன? திஸ் இஸ் ஜெனரல் அசம்ஷன். வாட் இஸ் இட்? rope is inextensible and the rope is also what? massless. ஓகே, ஸோ இங்க கொஞ்சம் காம்ப்ளிகேட் பண்றதுக்கு என்ன தெரியுமா? we will have இந்த மாதிரி 3 blocks. ஸோ இதுல பாருங்க, m1 and m2, block A and block B, they are connected by one rope. அதுக்குள்ள the tension force we are representing by what? T1. அந்த மாதிரி block B and block C, they are connected by the second rope. அந்த second rope உள்ள இருக்கிற tension we are calling it as what? T2. இங்கேயும் அப்படிதான், like the common assumptions, if you assume that the surfaces are smooth, இதுல என்ன தெரியுமா? they can ask us to find the acceleration. see பாருங்க, C and B are connected by a rope. அப்படி இருந்தா என்ன? if the C is having an acceleration A towards the right side, B also will have the same acceleration. அந்த மாதிரி B and A are connected by the rope means what? whatever the acceleration of B, A also is going to have the same acceleration. means what? the மூணு blocks of acceleration will be what? having the same value, which is A. so either they can ask us to find the A value, இல்லைன்னா they can ask us to find the T1 or T2. அப்படி இருக்கும். so questions என்ன தெரியுமா? we will be asked either to find that acceleration of the value A, இல்லைன்னா they can ask us to find the T1 or T2. எப்படி தெரியுமா? same concept. so we will go with free body diagram. ஒன்று நம்ம போகலாம். okay, so here also let us only look at what? வெறும் அந்த horizontal direction இருக்கிற force மட்டும். ஓகேவா? horizontal on block A only one force, அதனது T1. அதனால it is moving in the right side direction with an acceleration A. பாருங்க, what is the equation going to be? T1 is equal to m1 into A. அவ்வளவுதானா? முடிஞ்சது. now look at the block m2. m2 மேல என்ன இருக்கா? பாருங்க, இந்த பக்கம் ஒரு டென்ஷன், இந்த பக்கம் ஒரு டென்ஷன், மீன்ஸ் இந்த டைரக்ஷன்ல T2 இருக்கு, இந்த டைரக்ஷன்ல T1. because of these two எப்படி மூவ் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கா? it is moving towards the right side தானா? means what? net force towards the right side. net force towards the right side என்னது? right side force minus left side force. T2 is acting on it towards the right side. T1 எப்படி இருக்கா? so பாருங்க, that m2 right is connected to the rope on this side, means there will be tension into the rope. அந்த மாதிரி இந்த பக்கம் it is connected to a rope, there will be tension into the rope. ஓகேவா? so right side ல என்னது? T2, left side ல T1. ஓகேவா? so net force towards the right side ன்னு சொன்னா what is it? right side force minus left side force. ஓகேவா? that is equal to what? mass of that object into அதோட acceleration towards the right side. so இதுக்கு நம்ம equation 2 ன்னு சொல்லலாம். முன்னாடி வரது equation 1. ஓகேவா? அந்த மாதிரி அடுத்த block பாருங்க, what is it? that block m3. m3 க்கு மேல there is already that applied force F towards the right side. அந்த மாதிரி இங்க ஒன்னு தெரியுமா? இங்க ஒரு rope இருக்கா, left side it is connected to the rope, means what? இந்த பக்கெட்ல experience tension என்னது? T2 தானா? because of this it is moving towards the right side, means net force towards the right side force minus left side force is equal to what? mass of that particular object m3 into அதோட acceleration. இதனது equation 3. இதுல பாருங்க, 3 equations வருது. how many unknowns are there? 3 unknowns. so இதுல இருந்து we can solve what is that A value, அந்த மாதிரி T1, அந்த மாதிரி T2. okay, so எப்படி தெரியுமா? like if you want to just get the A value, அதுக்கு என்ன? just simply add the 3 equations. add பண்ண என்ன வருது பாருங்க, just add all the 3 equations. add பண்ண என்ன வரும்? left hand sideல பாருங்க, அப்படியே நம்ம அந்த equations 3 add பண்ணா left hand sideல என்ன வரும்? there will be cancelling of these tension force ஓட values பாருங்க எப்படி இங்க என்னது minus T1 இருக்கா இதுல T1 அந்த மாதிரி இங்க minus T2 இதுல T2 so வெறும் F மட்டும் will be remaining on the LHS RHS ல என்ன இங்க M1A M2A M3A so என்னது M1 plus M2 plus M3 into A so அதுல இருந்து அப்படியே லெஃப்ட் சைடு எடுத்துட்டு வந்தா it will go to the denominator F by M1 plus M2 plus M3 அதுதான acceleration இதனது the common acceleration அந்த acceleration value எடுத்துட்டு நம்ம ஏதாவது ஈக்குவேஷன்ல சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ணா என்ன வரும் based on the equation இப்போ நம்ம ஈக்குவேஷன் 1 ல சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ணா என்ன வரும் T1 வேல்யூ வரும் ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா ஈக்குவேஷன் 1 ல சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ணா என்ன வரும் we will get the T1 okay ஈக்குவேஷன் 3 ல சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ணா we will get the T2 அப்படி okay so like this we can proceed okay va புரியுதா so அடுத்த question பாருங்க in fact I think this is a question that has come in the previous year நினைக்கிறேன் okay so என்னது given situation la we have to find the T1 and T2 values in the given figure அவங்களுக்கு கொடுத்த figureல we have to find what T1 and T2 இது எப்படி இருக்கா as it is like the situation we saw right மூணு blocks அப்படியே இதனது 3 kg and 5 kg connected by the rope 1 அதுக்குள்ள இருக்கிற tension T1 5 kg and 7 kg connected by the rope 2 அந்த rope குள்ள இருக்கிற tension என்னது T2 ஓகேவா surfaces எல்லாம் smooth all the surface are what smooth இந்த பக்கம் அப்ளை பண்ண force என்னது 120 newtons this is F okay va so இதுல இருந்து we have to find what T1 and T2 values பாருங்க you have to tell me what is that T1 and T2 values okay என்ன தெரியுமா if we have already seen that situation அதுல இருந்து first நமக்கு என்ன வரும் we will be able to quickly know what is that acceleration already நம்ம பார்த்திருக்கோம் what is the acceleration going to be F by M1 plus M2 plus M3 இதுதானா so this is the advantage we will have actually நம்ம அந்த நீட்ல போய் ப்ராப்ளம் சால்வ் பண்ணும்போது if we already seen that model இப்படி தான் நமக்கு அட்வான்டேஜ் வரும் மத்தவங்க என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க they will be trying to again அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல இருந்து ஈக்குவேஷன்ஸ் ஒவ்வொண்ணா அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணி they will try to solve the problem பட் நமக்கு அப்படி கிடையாது if you already seen that model right ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா அந்த மாடலோட ஈக்குவேஷன்ஸ்ல இருந்து we will be able to find the result என்னது நமக்கு acceleration வரும் what is the acceleration numeratorல 120 denominatorல என்ன m1 plus m2 plus m3 தானா so m1 என்னது 3 இதனது 5 3 plus 5 8 அதுக்கு அப்புறம் 7 15 ஓகேவா 15 kg பாருங்க so 15 ones are 15 eights are so என்ன வரும் what is it 8 meter per second square so பாத்தீங்கன்னா each of these blocks right is moving towards இந்த பக்கம் towards the left side with how much acceleration 8 meter per second square ஓகேவா but இங்க நமக்கு acceleration கிடையாது what is it that they are asking us to find T1 and T2 values அது எப்படி பண்றது because we said எல்லா equations remember பண்ண முடியாது so that is the reason why we remember some part of it அதுக்கு அப்புறம் we have to go back and apply that அந்த approach நம்ம அப்ளை பண்ணனும் நம்ம ஒரு ஈக்குவேஷன் அப்படியே நம்ம மெமரைஸ் பண்ண முடியாது ஏன்னா because it will be like a very difficult task maybe நீங்க இந்த சாப்டர் மட்டும் நீங்க கவர் பண்ணும்போது you can think that okay இந்த ஃபார்முலா நம்ம மெமரைஸ் பண்ணலாம்னு சொல்லிட்டு பட் திங்க் அபவுட் நம்ம ஒரு 24 சாப்டர்ஸ் இருக்கு +1 +2 சேர்த்து எல்லா சாப்டர்ஸ்லயும் இந்த மாதிரி ரிசல்ட்ஸ் நிறைய வரும் அந்த ரிசல்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் நம்ம ரிமெம்பர் பண்ண முடியாது so what we look at is இதுல இருந்து we'll just start with the free body diagram approach so first இந்த 3 kg மட்டும் பாருங்க 3 kg block மேல என்னென்ன forces வரும் horizontal directionல 120 left sideல 120 newtons இங்க பாருங்க there is a tension T1 acting towards the right side அவ்வளவுதான் because of these two forces it is moving towards the left side with how much acceleration 8 meter per second square இப்போ என்னது equation of motion means net force towards the left side 120 minus T1 is equal to what mass of that object into அதோட acceleration 8 3s are what 24 தானா so பாருங்க 120 minus T1 is equal to 24 so T1 நம்ம அந்த பக்கம் எடுத்துட்டு போலாம் 24 இந்த பக்கம் வரும் so what is it giving us 120 minus 24 is equal to T1 125 minus 24 என்னது 96 தானா so T1 value என்னது 96 இந்த வேல்யூ பார்த்துட்டு we can just tell what is the correct answer. ஏன்னா பாருங்க, they're asking T1 and T2 means first is T1, second is T2 தானா. So option 1 கிடையாது. ஏன்னா இதுல T1, this is T1 representing, இதுல T1, இதுல this is T1, this is T1. பாருங்க, only option 3 is giving us T1 value as what, 96. So இந்த ப்ராப்ளம் நம்ம ஃபைனல் எக்ஸாம்ல சால்வ் பண்ண மாதிரி இருந்து வச்சுக்கோங்க. Then அந்த T1 வந்த உடனே if we are confident, right, we'll move on. ஏன்னா நம்ம T2க்கு மேல நம்ம டைம் பண்ண தேவையில்லை. புரியுதா? Like, you know, if you are spending time on T2 means again that's a loss of time, right? நமக்கு வேல்யூ கரெக்டா வந்து வச்சுக்கோங்க, then we can move on to the next one. So this is how we can save some time. So particularly இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு situationல what is it, once we are able to get one of these values right, we can probably tick or identify what is the correct answer. புரியுதா? So T1 வந்து நமக்கு T1 என்னது 96. Say for example T2 நம்ம calculate பண்ண வச்சுக்கோங்க. T2 எப்படி தெரியுமா? Look at the 7 kg. ஏன் நம்ம 7 kg எடுத்துருக்கோம்னா because 7 kgக்கு மேல ஒரே ஒரு ஃபோர்ஸ் இருக்கு. என்னது? வெறும் அந்த T2 மட்டும். அந்த 7 kg block horizontal directionல, I'm talking about the horizontal direction மட்டும். Horizontal direction there is only one force. என்னது? T2 தானா? So பாருங்க, because of this it is moving towards the left side. What is the acceleration? 8. So equation என்ன? Only one force. Then the T2. T2 is equal to what? Mass of that object 7 into அதோட acceleration 8. 7 8s are what? 56 தானா? SI unit Newton. ஓகேவா? So T2 ஓட வேல்யூ என்னது? 56 பாருங்க. So then the T1 and then the T2. புரியுதா? So this is how we'll approach the questions. Check பண்ணுங்க students, you are able to get this answer or not. Okay va? So anyway, what is the correct answer for this? Option 3 is the correct answer. Okay va? அடுத்தது பாருங்க, this is a very common. In fact, this is what we call as the pulley systems and சொல்லுவோம். Common என்னது? Pulley systems. So நிறைய விதமா கனெக்ட் பண்ணலாம். So we can connect blocks with ropes. Okay, the ropes will be moving over the pulley. இதுல என்ன தெரியுமா? The common assumption என்னது? The pulley will be massless, and the மாதிரி it is also what? Frictionless. And the pulley and rope நடுவுல there is no friction. இதுதான் common assumption. Already நம்ம rope பத்தி சொல்லிருக்கோம். என்னது? Rope we are assuming it to be what? Massless. Rope is what? Common assumption of the rope என்ன? Rope is massless. Okay வா? அது common assumption. அந்த மாதிரி இங்க pulley பத்தி என்னது? What is the common assumption? Pulley will be massless, and also when the pulley and the rope is there, right, அந்த ரெண்டு நடுவுல there will be no friction. Okay வா? So இப்ப பாருங்க, so this is what is the most என்ன சொல்றது, ஒரு generic system. So ஒரு புள்ளிக்கு மேல there will be a rope that is going across. இந்த பக்கம் ஒரு மாஸ், அந்த பக்கம் ஒரு மாஸ். Okay, so இப்ப பாருங்க how that blocks will actually move. எப்படி தெரியுமா? Whichever is higher in the M1 M2 la there will be one of the masses which is a heavier one. So for example M2 oda value is higher nu vechukonga. Just example, M1 also can be higher, but we are just taking one value. Enadhi M2 oda value, let us take it as what? Higher. Appo enna agum? M2 அப்படியே கீழ போகும், அந்த மாதிரி M1 will be going up. அப்படிதானா? But these two are connected. Connected என்னது? They are connected by the inextensible rope. Means whatever is that M2 is going down with acceleration ஏன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க, M1 will be going up with the same acceleration value. Then only that inextensible condition is going to be satisfied. Okay va? இது பத்தி நம்ம already பேசிருக்கோம் when we talked about that inextensible. Okay, so when two objects are connected by inextensible rope, what did we say? And the ரெண்டு objects oda acceleration magnitude will be same. That time we have given this example. Okay va? So M2 is going down with acceleration here na, M1 will be going up with the same value of acceleration. இப்போ பாருங்க m2 க்கு மேல என்ன ஃபோர்ஸஸ் வரும்? there will be the weight of that m2 into g. And the it is connected to the rope, right? So tension acting on the m2 will be into the rope. Appadi. So paranga, let us just draw the free body diagram of m2. And there will be the weight. And the there will be the tension. So in the rendu forces oda resultant motion eppadi varudhu? This is going down with acceleration a, means net force downwards. Net force downwards and enadi downward force minus upward force. The block m2 mele there is a downward force, other weight. Upward force is the tension. So downward force minus upward force is equal to what? Mass of the object m2 into a. So we are looking at net force downwards. Because the acceleration is downwards. Okay va? So the equation 1 and ichukonga. And the in the block m1 paranga அதுக்கு மேல என்ன ஃபோர்ஸ் வரும்? அப்படிதானா? சேம். அதோட weight acting downwards. Tension into the rope. But இங்க என்ன தெரியுமா? m1 is not going down. m1 எப்படி? m1 is going up. So இங்க net force is resultant force எந்த direction இருக்கா? It is acting upwards தானா? So we have to find net force upwards. Net force upwards and sonanadi upward force minus downward force dana. Upward la enna irukka? Tension. Downward la weight. Upward force minus downward force is equal to what? Mass of that object m1 into adoda acceleration. Okay va? So idu enadi equation 2. Ipo indha rendu equations la irundhu we can find t value நம்ம find out பண்ணலாம். அந்த மாதிரி we can also find the acceleration. So இப்போ பாருங்க வெறும் அந்த acceleration மட்டும் நமக்கு வேணும்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. Then what we are going to do? முடிஞ்சது. The equations are over. Equations we have drawn separately. Thanitaniya we have drawn the free body diagram for the block m1 and the madri block m2. Adilende we have got the two equations. Ipo paranga in the rendu equations lende we have to find what is that tension and we can also find what is that acceleration. Eppadi? Just add panna enna agum paranga. So equation 1 plus equation 2 add panna enna agum? Idhula indha pakka minus t irukka, indha pakka t cancel aidum. So LHS la enna varudhu? m2g minus m1g. m2g minus m1g is equal to what? Right hand side la enna irukka? m2a plus m1a. So m2 plus m1 into a. Okay va? So ipo namakku a dana venum, means and the m2 plus m1 நம்ம left side எடுத்துட்டு வரணும். So in the left side already என்ன இருக்கா? m2 minus m1 into g இருக்கா? g common எடுத்தா divide by and the LHS right hand side ல இருந்து m2 plus m1 வரும் denominator ல. So இதுதான் நம்ம acceleration value. என்னது? The system ஓட acceleration சொல்லுவோம். Generally என்ன தெரியுமா? We will call it as what? What is the acceleration of the system? Acceleration of the system என்ன? Because both these blocks are having the same acceleration, right? Adanala what is the word that we generally use? We'll say acceleration of the system and solvanga. Okay va? Enna the block m2 oda downward acceleration is equal to what? Block m1 oda upward acceleration. What is that acceleration value? Enade m2 minus m1 into g divided by m2 plus m1. Okay va? In the value எடுத்துட்டு you will substitute in any equation. Equation 1 la illana equation 2 la edavadhu equation நம்ம substitute பண்ணா அதுல இருந்து நமக்கு t value வரும். அதுல இருந்து we will be able to get the tension oda value. Okay va? So பாருங்க, based on this, right, this is a question that has come in the NEET 2020. So as it is, okay, two bodies of masses 4 kg 6 kg are tied to the ends of a massless string. இதெல்லாம் அந்த general assumptions தெரியுமா? They will mention all these things. பாருங்க எப்படி அந்த மென்ஷன் பண்ணுவாங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு I told you, right, that they will clearly mention all these assumptions. Okay va? பாருங்க, the string passes over a pulley which is frictionless. Pulley another is a frictionless pulley. Okay va? The acceleration of the system in the given arrangement. They are asking the acceleration in terms of g value. G another acceleration due to gravity. அவ்வளவுதானா? Straight formula. So m2 another 6, m1 4. What is the acceleration system formula? m2 minus m1 into g divided by m2 plus m1. அவ்வளவுதானா? So m2 is what? 6 minus 4 by 6 plus 4 into G. 6 minus 4 and 2 dana. So 2 divided by 6 plus 4 means 10. 2 ones are 2 5s are another G by 5. Option 2. All of that. So if you are remembering the standard models, right, we can just conclude the answer in quicker way. So that is how people who practice, right, the standard models of questions, they will have the advantage when they go to the final NEET examination. The standard models nama practice pannalanna, then again exam kulla poite we will be like, thinking, okay, nama free body diagram draw pannittu nama pannalam solittu appadi panna you will get the answer. Ungalku answer varadha sollala, but you will be losing the time. It's all about the time, right? Okay, check pannunga. What is the answer for this question, guys? It is what? Option 2. Okay. Others also you can check it. You never know. You should be getting option 2 as the answer. Okay, va? Other system paranga. Or addition avladha. So don't tend to get confused by this small modifications. Okay. Enadhu munna nama enna paathirukom in the piece, in the keela irukra piece kadiyadu. In the mela mattum, in the pakka M1 and the pakka M2. Avladha. So idhila nama enna pannirukom, we have just added one more block C, which is connected to the block B. Okay. Idhila enna theriyuma? See, block A and block B are connected by a rope. Means they will have the same acceleration magnitude. And the madri block B and block C are also connected by this another rope. Inga paranga, there is another rope. Means what? They will also have that same acceleration. Means what? For example, the M2 and M3 in the pakka masses are going down. They are going down across the pulley. M1 will be going up. Apdiye that M1 will be what? M1 is going to be going up. So they can ask us to find acceleration. Illana in the rope tension, let us say T1. And the madri inga tension, let us say T2. They can ask us to find T1 or they can ask us to find T2. Okay, va? So either they can ask us to find the A value or T1 or T2. This eppadi solve pandrathu? Same. First nama free body diagram. See, regularly nama practice பண்ணும்போது என்ன தெரியுமா, we will detailedly practice, and that is what is going to help us in solving questions in the exam. So இப்ப பாருங்க, free body diagram for the M1 first. அதுக்கு மேல என்ன இருக்கா? There is a weight acting downwards. அந்த மாதிரி there is a tension T1. So இந்த மேல இருக்கிற ரோப்ல we are calling the tension as what? T1. So இந்த ரெண்டு forces ஓட resultant motion எப்படி இருக்கா? The block M1 is going up. Means T1 minus M1G. Net force upwards means upward force minus downward force. Upward la irukka T1, downward la M1G. So T1 minus M1G is equal to what? M1 into A. Idu appadiye irukkom. So let us call it as what? Equation 1 and solala. Okay va? Adukapram we will go to the FBD of M2. M2 ku mela enna irukku parunga, adoda weight அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டென்ஷன் T1, இந்த பக்கம் ஒரு டென்ஷன் T1, and T2 எப்படி ஆக்ட் ஆகும்? டவுன்வர்ட்ஸ். பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் தீஸ் ஃபோர்சஸ் எப்படி இது மூவ் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கா? இட் இஸ் மூவிங் டவுன்வர்ட்ஸ் தானா? ஸோ நெட் ஃபோர்ஸ் டவுன்வர்ட்ஸ். சொன்னது டவுன்வர்ட்ல ரெண்டு ஃபோர்ஸ் இருக்கா? T2 அந்த மாதிரி M2G. டவுன்வர்ட் ஃபோர்சஸ் மைனஸ் அப்வர்ட் ஃபோர்ஸ் இஸ் ஈக்குவல் டு வாட்? Mass of that object into adoda downward acceleration. Okay va? So idana the equation 2. So enna pannirukkom, we have just looked at net force downwards. Net force downwards and sonnanadi downward forces minus upward forces. Okay va? Is equal to what? The mass of that object into other downward acceleration. So nama last la vandirukkom M3. adukku mela enna theriyuma? There will be weight, tension. T2 எப்படி ஆக்ட் ஆகும்? It will be acting up. Always tension will be into the rope. பாருங்க. So the ரெண்டு forces ஓட resultant motion is what? இந்த m3 is going down with acceleration என்னது a. So பாருங்க, what is the equation? Net force downwards means downward இருக்கிற force m3 into g minus upward t2 is equal to what? m3 into a. இது என்னது equation 3. So the மூணு equationsல இருந்து we can find out what is that a value அந்த மாதிரி t1 and t2. So அப்படியே நீங்க பார்த்தா ஒரு ஐடியா வரும். என்ன தெரியுமா? if add பண்ண வச்சுக்கோங்க, இந்த மூணு equations add பண்ண என்ன வரும் பாருங்க. So equation 1 plus equation 2 plus equation 3 பண்ணா என்ன வரும்? ஆட் பண்ண என்ன வரும்? இதுல பாருங்க, LHSல இதுல t1 இருக்கு, இதுல minus t1, இங்க என்னது t2 minus t2 கேன்சல் ஆயிடும். So m3 into g அந்த மாதிரி m2 into g minus m1 into g. So m3 into g plus m2 into g minus m1 into g. ஓகேவா? is equal to right hand side la m1a plus m2a plus m3a. So m1 plus m2 plus m3 into a. Okay, so இது என்னது? m3 plus m2 minus m1 into g divided by அந்த சைடுல இருந்து it will come to the denominator. என்னது? m3 plus m2 plus m1. அதுதான் the acceleration of the system. பாத்தீங்கன்னா எப்படி இருக்குது? ஒரு சைடுல அந்த புள்ளியோட இதுல ஒரு சைடுல what is the mass? m2 plus m3. அதுதான் total mass on the இதுல என்னது? right side. இங்க நம்ம என்ன எடுத்துக்கோம்? we have taken the assumption that the m2 plus m3 are actually going down. ஓகேவா? and m1 is actually going up. ஓகேவா? so right side la enna iruka? what is the mass on the right side of the pulli பாருங்க. right side of the pulli enna iruka? m2 அந்த மாதிரி m3. so total என்னது? m2 plus m3. ஓகேவா? அதுல இருந்து we are subtracting the left side la இருக்கிற mass. what is it? m1. so m2 plus m3 minus m1 into g. denominator enna? total mass, which is m2 plus m3 plus m1. ஓகேவா? so இப்படி நம்ம ரிமெம்பர் பண்ணலாம் இந்த ரிசல்ட். so a வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் we can take this a எடுத்துட்டு we will go and substitute in the equations. substitute பண்ணா அதுல இருந்து we are going to get what? அதுல இருந்து we are going to get the t1 வரும், அந்த மாதிரி t2 வரும். ஓகேவா? so இதுதான் அப்ரோச். so இது என்ன தெரியுமா? this is also sometimes called as hanging blocks on a pulley. புள்ளி அந்த பக்கம் ஒரு சில பிளாக்ஸ் இருக்கும், இந்த பக்கம் ஒரு சில பிளாக்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஓகேவா? எப்படி இது? we call it as what? hanging blocks on the pulley அப்படி சொல்லுவோம். ஓகே, இதுக்கு நான் ஒரு சின்ன மாடிஃபிகேஷன் பண்றேன். நீங்க வேணும்னா you can just try and check it on your own and confirm. ஓகேவா? so I'll erase these equations or no, I'll just keep மற்றதெல்லாம் அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணிட்டு I'll just keep this acceleration final formula. இந்த ஃபார்முலா மட்டும் இருக்கட்டும். ஓகேவா? மற்றதெல்லாம் நம்ம அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, I'll just give you one small modification. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சிஸ்டம் நம்ம எடுக்கலாம். ஒரே ஒரு சேஞ்ச் என்ன தெரியுமா? இப்போ பாருங்க, இப்படியே ஒரு புள்ளி இருக்கும். இந்த பக்கம் என்னது? m1 m2. இந்த பக்கம் ரெண்டு மாஸ் இருக்கு. அந்த மாதிரி இந்த பக்கம் m3 m4. ஓகே, ஸோ எல்லாம் சேம். தட் ropes are inextensible. அந்த மாதிரி ropes மாஸ் கிடையாது. அண்ட் pulley is what? frictionless. so left side என்ன இருக்கா? what is the mass on that left side? m1 and m2. right side என்ன இருக்கா? m3 and m4. ஓகேவா? let us say right side இருக்கிற mass is a higher value வச்சுக்கோங்க. right side இருக்கிற mass is what? total mass. இந்த m3 plus m4 value is higher. அப்ப என்ன ஆகும்? right side ல it will be going down, left side ல it will be going up. ஓகேவா? பட் எல்லாத்துக்கும் the acceleration will be what? same. so m3 and m4 will be going down with acceleration ஏன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. m1 and m2 will be going up. so இந்த ஃபார்முலா பார்த்துட்டு we are not doing that entire derivation. இந்த ஃபார்முலா மட்டும் பார்த்துட்டு can you tell me what will be that similar formula that we'll have for the acceleration? இங்க என்ன வரும் பாருங்க. இந்த ரைட் சைடுல இருக்கிற மாஸ் whichever side is going down, right? what is it? m3 plus m4. அதுல இருந்து we have to subtract என்னது? left side இருக்கிற மாஸ் which is m1 plus m2. ஓகேவா? divided by denominator என்ன வருது total mass என்னது m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4 total mass வரும் whole into the g அதுதான் acceleration ஓட வேல்யூ ஓகேவா சோ என்ன பண்றது ஒரு சைடுல இருக்கிற mass whichever is the higher one அதுல இருந்து we have to subtract the other side okay denominator என்ன வரும் total mass வரும் into g நீங்க even if you check that first நம்ம first என்ன பண்ணிருக்கோம் we just did this right இதுதானா வெறும் ரெண்டு பிளாக் மட்டும் சோ இதுல என்ன பாருங்க m2 higher value னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க சோ அதுல what is the acceleration formula m2 minus m1 தானா means m2 is the weight on the right side அது என்னது higher left side ல என்ன இருக்கா the lower one so higher mass minus lower mass divided by total mass என்னது m2 plus m1 தானா into g இதுதான் நமக்கு வந்த formula this is what we got right the formula for the acceleration okay so இப்படி நம்ம ரிமெம்பர் பண்ணலாம் இந்த மாதிரி hanging blocks on a pulley அப்படி இருந்தா this is how we will get the acceleration of those systems okay va so இதோட we will stop the discussion for today அடுத்த செஷன்ல என்னன்னா we will try to go into a couple of more arrangements and அதுக்கப்புறம் we will start getting into the idea of friction and எப்படி how do you solve problems involving friction okay va so we will see in the next class